Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a vampire horror film named Vampire Sisters. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a handsome vampire meeting a beautiful girl while hunting humans for blood. The beautiful lady made his heart race, and for love, he eventually underwent a blood fusion ceremony with the girl. They then started living as ordinary people. Although the vampire gave up immortality by doing that, he was still a vampire, so his two daughters inherited some of his supernatural powers. Initially, the family of four lived in an ancient underground vampire city. However, due to the girl's longing for her homeland, the couple later moved to Germany to settle down. In addition, the girl didn't tell her parents the truth, and she hoped that her vampire husband wouldn't scare them with his vampire muscles. The parents just treated vampires as a joke, and didn't know their son-in-law is actually a vampire. Due to the change in the environment, the family had to adjust their lifestyle. To avoid arousing suspicion among humans, she set new rules for her family. This made it difficult for the daughter Dakaria, who loved the vampire lifestyle, to adapt to the new life. Unlike Dakaria, her older sister, Sylvania, wanted to leave the dark underground and live a normal life. She filed down her sharp teeth as her mother requested, and went to school with her sister. However, the school prankster named Bully embarrassed Sylvania in a way. To punish Bully for humiliating her sister, Dakaria used her vampire fire stare to scare him into wetting his sausage and pants. After school, Sylvania met a cute boy and accepted his invitation to swim naked in the pool. Despite being covered in sunscreen, Sylvania was severely sunburned after entering the pool. That night, Dakaria could only apply some mud from their hometown to heal her sister's wounds, while their father prepared to work the night shift. Coincidentally, their peeping neighbor, Tom, saw the vampire father standing on the roof, trying to fly. Although Tom was soon knocked unconscious by falling tiles, he still believed that the creepy family was a vampire clan. As it turned out, Tom's mother had encountered vampires before, but the incident traumatized her, and she was sent to a mental hospital. Therefore, to prove to everyone that his mother wasn't crazy, Tom prepared to uncover the truth. On the other hand, at school, Dakaria met a cool girl named Helena, who loved drawing tattoos. When Dakaria saw her classmates throw a watermelon towards Helena, she immediately used her supernatural powers to save her from getting wet by the watermelon. It turned out that Helena had a hearing impairment. Although she didn't want others to know about her problem, she wanted to be friends with Dakaria and share her secret with the sisters. Dakaria was also prepared to reveal her true identity to Helena, but Sylvania reminded her of their father's teachings. Unable to share her own secret, Dakaria was misunderstood by Helena. Due to vampires' tendency to be sleepy during the day, Dakaria experienced sleepwalking, which led to more mockery from Bully. As a result, Dakaria disliked interacting with humans even more. To avoid getting sunburned again, Sylvania had to refuse cute boy's swimming invitation, which made her feel somewhat disappointed. Compared to the children's consecutive troubles, their mother's life was smooth sailing. As a designer, she not only found a desirable storefront, but her husband's tender care also made her feel content and happy. As the family celebrated the good news, the Vampire Flying Association sent an invitation to Dakaria through Batmail. However, Tom overheard the content of the invitation due to Dakaria's excessive excitement and his injury from the bat. He immediately searched the internet for the competition and found records about vampires. He then purchased a bunch of vampire hunter weapons online, preparing to catch the vampire neighbors himself. At this point, Dakaria was very dissatisfied with her half-human bloodline because it prevented her from flying long distances like a vampire. For her sister Sylvania, the half-vampire bloodline also prevented her from walking proudly in the sunlight. The sisters wished they could be either 100% vampire or human. At that moment, they happened to see a magic shop and decided to use the magician's power to fulfill their wishes. Before entering the shop, their classmate tried to stop them. At first, they didn't pay attention, but they soon realized the magician was unreliable. He had the magic to grant their wishes, but completely mixed up the sisters' desires. As a result, Dakaria began to transform into a human, while Sylvania became more like a vampire. Overwhelmed by hunger, she even ate all the blood products in the refrigerator. In addition, troubles followed one after another. Tom kept peeping and trailed the vampire family as they flew home at night and sneaked into their house for peeping. When the vampire sisters discovered him, he confronted them with a dead rat that had been bitten by their vampire father. Fortunately, the mother thought quickly and claimed the rat was their pet, accusing Tom of killing it. With nothing to say, Tom left in disgrace. The next day after school, Sylvania invited Cute Boy to come over and teach her some hormone language. However, Sylvania was once again overwhelmed by hunger. Thankfully, Decoria rushed into the room just in time to prevent Cute Boy from being bitten. After the frightened boy rode away fast on his Tesla bike, the out-of-control Sylvania ignored her sister's pleas and ran off. They chased each other until they had a confrontation in the town square. As her sister lunged towards her, Decaria quickly stuffed a cockroach into Sylvania's smelly mouth. Eating the food instantly calmed Sylvania down, and she looked at her almost completely transparent self, realizing the severity of the situation. Considering that their wishes had been swapped, the sisters hurriedly sought the magician's help. At first, the magician was going to refuse their request, but his grandson, Luke, suddenly appeared, giving the sisters renewed hope. Luke took his grandfather's magic book and told the sisters the method to reverse their wishes. To swap their wishes, the sisters had to find a magical herb that grew in the cemetery and only bloomed during a full moon. This herb emitted a scent like licorice. Learning of that, the sisters immediately thought of Helena, who had hearing impairment, but a keen sense of smell. However, their conversation was overheard by Bully and his gang passing through the square. The three troublemakers ran to the cemetery and teased the quiet, reading Helena. Feeling humiliated by her classmates, Helena assumed the sisters had betrayed her, refused to help them, and locked them out. At that moment, Bully and his gang happened to pass by Helena's house. The two sisters, who were about to confront them, took the opportunity to hang the three of them in a tree like pigs. Bully and his gang's apologies led Helena to forgive the two sisters for their unintended actions. As a condition to help, the sisters also promised to reveal their secret to her. As night fell, the couple hurriedly drove away for the opening ceremony of their new store, leaving their two daughters at home. Then, the sisters revealed their secret of being half human, half vampire to Helena. At first, Helena thought Decaria was joking some smelly bullshit, but when she witnessed Sylvania's teleportation ability, she immediately believed them. Interested in flying, she begged the sisters to let her experience the joy of soaring like a wild goose. Unbeknownst to the three children, Tom had been peeping and eavesdropping on their conversation and followed them to the cemetery with his equipment. Due to the weakening of their vampire powers, Decaria didn't fly far before falling, and the trio had to walk to the cemetery to find the cure as told by the magician. Upon arrival, Helena quickly located the magical herb, using her keen sense of smell. However, before she could call the sisters, Tom ambushed her and tied her up in the church. Then, he attacked the sisters with a crucifix and holy water, causing Decaria to gradually turn into a human. After that, Tom turned his attention to the hiding Sylvania behind Decaria. The power of the holy water instantly caused Sylvania to fall unconscious, leaving Decaria panicked. As Tom prepared to kill the two sisters, Luke came to the rescue, freeing Helena and starting to wrestle muscles with Tom. This saved the two sisters' shitty lives, and Sylvania was woken up by Salt. Sylvania then fiercely scared Tom, who dropped his equipment and fled the cemetery as fast as a Ferrari horse. The sisters hurriedly inquired about the magical herb, and Helena produced it. After that, they began the wish-making ritual, but with Luke's reminder, Sylvania and Decaria realized that neither becoming fully human nor fully vampire would give them the happiness they had now. So they changed their wish to remain half-human, half-vampire hybrids. Seeing that the two sisters had successfully made their wish, Luke retrieved Tom's abandoned lunchbox and placed a herb leaf in Tom's dinner that would induce diarrhea. Starving, Tom discovered his lunchbox and ate the tampered dinner, resulting in agonizing, non-stop diarrhea. In the end, the sisters made friends. Cute Boy reciprocated Sylvania's feelings and even kissed her cheek, making their friends genuinely happy for her. The two vampire sisters finally adapted to their new surroundings and began enjoying a life filled with happiness and joy. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.